Welcome to Goodnight Tales.
The Country Mouse and the City Mouse.
In a bustling city, amidst towering skyscrapers, busy streets, and a myriad of shops and restaurants, lived a city mouse. His life was filled with the hustle and bustle of urban adventures. However, today, he was off to visit his cousin, the village mouse, who lived far away in a tranquil countryside. The village mouse made her home in a cozy burrow at the base of a majestic old oak tree. Her nest, though small, was warm and inviting, surrounded by lush fields and the soothing sounds of nature. When the city mouse arrived, she welcomed him with open arms and a warm smile. As they settled down in the village mouse's snug little home, she prepared a meal from her garden: fresh corn, tender carrots, crispy lettuce, and a cool glass of stream water. The simplicity of the fare didn't bother the city mouse, but he couldn't help but start boasting about his grand life in the city.
The city is absolutely amazing. I go to theaters, museums, and concerts all the time. My house has 20 rooms, and there's always something exciting to do. You must visit me and see for yourself. Have you ever tasted fine dining?
The city mouse exclaimed. The village mouse listened with wide eyes and a curious heart. That night, as she curled up in her cozy bed, she dreamed of the city life her cousin had described. In her dreams, she wandered through grand boulevards, dined in fancy restaurants, and marveled at glittering lights and sophisticated shops.
Wow, marvelous! I want to live in the city too,
she thought. The next morning, eager to experience the city life, the village mouse decided to visit her cousin in the city. With her heart fluttering with anticipation, she packed her few belongings, and together, they set off on the journey to the city mouse's grand home. Upon arriving, the village mouse was astounded by the city mouse's towering residence. The building stood tall and imposing, a stark contrast to her humble burrow. As they entered, she gasped at the sheer size and splendor of it all.
Which room is mine?
She asked, her voice filled with wonder.
Actually, we stay downstairs.
The city mouse said hesitantly, leading her down a narrow staircase to the basement. In the dim light, the village mouse saw a crowded space filled with many other mice.
These are my housemates,
he explained, a little embarrassed. The village mouse felt a pang of disappointment but tried to remain optimistic. That evening, the city mouse took her to a lavish dining room upstairs, where a feast awaited them: rich cheeses, crusty bread, sweet pastries, juicy fruits. The village mouse's eyes sparkled with excitement as she sat down to enjoy the feast. However, just as they began to nibble, a sudden thump shook the table. A sleek, fierce city cat with gleaming eyes and sharp claws leapt up, hissing menacingly. The two mice bolted in terror, racing across the room and barely escaping into a small hole in the wall. Panting and shaking, they waited in the dark, their hearts pounding, until the cat finally wandered off. Feeling frightened and disillusioned, the village mouse hurried back to the basement, where she started packing her belongings. The city mouse, seeing her distress, asked,
"Where are you going?"
I'm going home.
The village mouse said firmly.
I miss my peaceful village life. The city is not as wonderful as you made it seem. I prefer the quiet and safety of my home. Now please, help me call a taxi.
Sometimes, the allure of others' lives isn't as appealing as it seems. There's comfort and contentment in appreciating what you have.